and welcome back to another episode of Behind the Scenes Tarot Reading. Today, we're working with the Shadow deck, Wisdom of the Shadow. So, my intentions are it goes out to whoever needs to see this. I'm doing these readings for myself, blah blah blah, but it's meant for those who resonate with me in the same pattern. People who are going through the same things I am. So I'm not doing it. It's a little bit of both. I'm doing it for me and the collective. Anyways, get into it. Oracle, Spirit, Dingly, Higher Guides. I only allow the highest good and the highest vibration for my highest good. I intend only good and pure energy into my light and my body. I only allow what's good intentions to come through. What should I focus for in the month of March? April. Sorry, get my months right there. Apparently, I can't even get help with that. Just what should I focus on working on in April? 'Cause to be honest, March kind of kicked my butt. My butt. Yeah, my butt. All right. So I'm pretty methodical with my shuffling. I've seen people just and cards pop out. I can't do that. I am technically disabled. Not that easy for me to shuffle shit stuff. Jeez, I didn't think cursing would not cursing. Anyways, moving on. What would you like to show me? What do I need to hear for the month of April? What do I need to focus on? Well, it just keeps coming back to authenticity. Authenticity was the first card. Being my authentic self. One of the biggest struggles I've been finding out is figuring out who I authentically am. Perhaps as the atom, perhaps as the inner guide, the spirit. I'm still trying to figure out who and what I am, what I stand for. A little short story, not to be from a negative space, just something I've been going through and something I've been learning that's been reflected to me and showing me who I am. I recently got fired for malarkey. Just, it's dumb, whatever. But the deal was, for the 3 years I stayed there, I was always taught to shut my mouth and work. My dad's philosophy was already, shut up, do what your manager asks, and don't make any waves. Literally, almost exact words that he told me. And if you've seen my other videos, this is a common theme. This is what's been going on with me in the past few months. So I would shut up and let people push me around. I would never stand up for myself, for my values, for what I believed in. And as I started to do that, I lost everyone. I lost my friend. I lost my job. But that's because that job wasn't resonating with me, with my authentic self. It was that nice little, you fit in my box, pat pat, shut up, get to work. That's the me that I was going through. And I honestly snapped. Not in a negative way, but it was like, I'm done. I'm tired. I'm tired of being like this. And I actually got really, really depressed. Also because it just, let's go with this. People put on the mask. Okay, let's change it this way. So you know how, kind of in my head, I've had this idea with dating. You're supposed to get to, or any relationship, friendship, dating, you're supposed to get to know someone after 2 to 3 months. Because after 2 to 3 months, it's almost like they drop their guard. The mask comes off because they can't keep it up anymore. That's why it's just, I take my time now getting to know people. Even though I've gotten better at being able to see through their masks, I still try not to judge and give them time. My friend at the time, I knew him for 2 to 3 years, but he had a mask on so tight that slowly and surely I actually started seeing through it. And I'm like, this kind of behavior here, this kind of behavior here, that just doesn't match up to what he was acting or saying. his words didn't match his actions. And upon all of that, I'm not going to make it about anyone else. I realized I was the same. I tried so hard to fit in with him, tried so hard to fit in with my job, the people at work, and I was getting bullied. I was being treated like crap by my manager, by my coworkers, pretty much everyone. Why? Because I was letting them. I wasn't being authentic. I was scared to be myself. And, well, to be honest, that look what happened. I lost my job. So, yeah, it was absolutely terrifying. I didn't work for about 2 weeks. I was out of a job for almost 10 days. It wasn't really a full 2 weeks, but I was getting there. So being my authentic self actually made me lose everything at the time. And it's absolutely terrifying. I'm not gonna lie. But now I'm in this new space, and I'm having to learn who I am again. And of course, there's still the fear of, well, what happens if the exact same thing happens? Well, you just can't live in the past. That's something I've been working on. I can't live in the past because I'm also not that person anymore. Because of what I went through and what happened, I'm actually a different person. That snap, that realization kind of made me really self examine and be like, okay, that's not something I like. I don't like that behavior. And the reason I keep bringing it back to these people because it's a mirror. They're a mirror. The friend I had was a mirror of who I was and who I was being. Not, I mean, you always say the company that you keep shows you who you are. It was a toxic job and I had toxic friends. So therefore, I was toxic. Now, keep this with an open mind, because even though I moved into another situation that's probably not the best, people are people. That's just what it comes down to. But I don't resonate with those people anymore. Even though I'm in a new situation with a similar pattern, I'm not like that anymore. And that's helping me actually see who I am. And then situations keep arising, actually, that are still happening, showing me who I am. And it's not as simple of, oh, well, oh no, I don't like that behavior, I don't like that attitude, I don't like that pattern. Don't be afraid of it, just accept it and be like, okay, okay, this is the things I was doing. Maybe I wasn't being honest with myself, with them, and I'm not going to shame myself for it. It's just, I don't want to be like that anymore. Don't, bad human, no, just be like, okay, this is how I currently am. Do I like this? Is this working for me? Because inherently, and this is going to be taboo, inherently, nothing is good, nothing is bad. It's how you perceive it. So if you like yourself that way, hey man, that's cool. That's cool. Just you do you. I'm not judging. But I really took a step back and I'm like, do I like myself? Do I like these things I do? Do I like these behaviors, the way I act, the way I speak? And I didn't. It wasn't who I truly was. Because in reality, I forgot. I forgot trying to be this person that I thought they liked. I forgot who I was. Now, honestly, can't. There's something I heard that was a kind of perspective that I like. You still have to be selective authenticity. Because honestly, if I told my boss straight up that he was a not great person in my eyes, I would have gotten fired right away. But I never did that. That's not why I got fired, just FYI. But if I was truly honest and authentic all the time, it's a dangerous rope to walk. I'm not saying hide yourself, but don't go around, I don't like you because you suck. I don't like you because you lied to me. I don't. That's also, if that's what you want to do, if that's the outcome you would like, it's up to you. I'm not going to say do this or don't do this. Just, I didn't want to do that. Instead, I just learned to let it go. Or I'm learning to. So I need to work on being my authentic self. And seize. I'm a goofball. I'm weird. I'm strange. I've always been a little odd since ever and ever. And even shit, even kindergarten. My bad. Even kindergarten, I remember being strange. I was always the oddball for those who resonate with me. And because I never got along with people, I stopped being like that. I would sit down, shut up, and just be the person I thought they wanted me to be. I'm just kind of going in circles now, but even acknowledging this, it's still hard to move past that and truly act yourself because people, ego, is constantly like, oh, you upset them. You upset them. They don't like you no more. Uh, or this person's like upset or mad or what if nobody at work wants to talk to me? Because that's honestly what happened. Nobody at work wanted to talk to me, but it's because I wasn't willing to tolerate the behavior. I got to a point where I said, you know what? This person's stepping all over me. This person's stepping all over me. And instead of saying something, which you don't necessarily need to say something to deter the behavior, you just politely not allow it. Not to dredge up the past, just an example. I had a coworker who was new. They worked there for 2 months. I worked there for 2 years. They were constantly telling me what to do. Hey, this needs to be done. I would kindly be responding like, oh, well then you should probably do that. And it still sounded kind of rude, but I am a little snippy. I am kind of sarcastic. That's just me. He goes, oh, yeah, yeah. Well, I'm like, well, look, I'll get to it, but I'm actually with someone right now. You know, if you need me to do it, I'll do it, but it's gonna have to wait. So it wasn't just a, quick snap at him. It's just, hey, I know you can do it, but I'm currently busy. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. I wouldn't tolerate it. Now, again, you don't have to be snappy. You don't have to be snippy. Me being sarcastic is just kind of eh. It's just how I always been. A lot of people perceive it as rude. That's fair. I could be, possibly. I can see how it can be perceived as that. But the true point of it is there are those who actually like you for you. Those who don't like you for you aren't necessarily bad, just not worth your time. Because those who do like you when you're being yourself, those are the kind of people you want to be around. Like my sister. I'm going to put her into a good aspect. Whatever. Words. I'm just throwing out words. We played video games with me and her partner. And we had fun. We were all just goofs and goobers and had absolute fun. I've told her things that I wouldn't share with normal people. She doesn't judge me. She's like, you know what? You do you, Brew. As long as you're not out killing people in the streets, we're good. As long as you're not causing harm on someone else, we're good. And she accepts me as I am. So people like that are the kind of people you want in your life. Anyone else will just fall off. You don't have to push them away. They'll just naturally fall off, you know? Kind of like that friend that I had at work. I started being myself and I stopped allowing him to be abusive in a sense. He was actually kind of being an abusive friend. And I stopped tolerating it. I wasn't being nasty, but I wouldn't tolerate it anymore. In essence, I actually just stopped responding. He would say something nasty, I'm just like, that's cool. Not being rude, just, hey, nonchalant, that's cool, man. And it upset him. He didn't like me anymore. But that's also because he had his own things going on. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the next card. Let's do it. Next card. So the way it pulls is, this is the core wisdom. This is what we're supposed to focus on. This is underneath it, and then this is underneath it. So what is underneath authenticity? Wow, I haven't got this card yet. My voice. As I was kind of saying, the throat chakra got closed for a while because I was lying to myself, lying to others, and I wasn't willing to speak my truth. I wasn't willing to use my voice. I'm dredging up some of the past here, and anytime I bring up stories of the past, it's not to be, oh, poor me, give me sympathy. It's coming from a perspective of this is what I've been through and this is what I've learned from it. I don't want it to sound, empathetical as in give me your sympathy. It's meant to be like, okay, look, for those who went through it the same as me, you resonate. I get where you're coming from. Like I said, my family, anytime I spoke my mind, anytime I spoke the truth, I actually got yelled at. I would get severely yelled at. My dad, even now, hates being honest. If I have any opinion other than his, he gets so mad. Like, for instance, a good example was he would constantly politics, just politics. I don't, I don't get involved in politics at all. I don't care. I'm 31. I've already seen. I'm totally just throwing out a number, 5 to 10 presidents within my lifetime, and I haven't cared about any of them. I don't. They're all the same to me. Doesn't matter. That's just, I'm so nonchalant about it. I don't even vote. And I brought it up to him, or he brought it up to me. One day he's like, all right, did you vote? It's like, no. Because why not? It's like, because I don't know anything about anyone. I don't like anyone. Well, you still need to go vote. You should vote this person. It's like, no. Well, why not? Because I don't care. I don't care. I'm not going to vote. I have no opinion. In fact, if you want to get into politics, the system's broken. Even if I voted, it really doesn't matter. Not just this personal opinion here. You do you, boo. But in my personal opinion, it doesn't matter who you vote for. I feel like it's already rigged anyways. Just like, all right, getting social bias here, going neutral. So, and he knows that. And he actually turned around and yelled at me and said, you know what? It's fine. I'm glad you don't vote because you don't know how. You don't, and actually just went off on a tangent of being absolutely nasty. I'm just like, you done? Are you done? Same situation with a stepmom. I had an abusive stepmom for, God, since I was 11, 12. And she was constantly lying, actually. Like, for instance, anything I did, she always exasperated. No. Yeah, exasperated, I don't know, stretched the truth and made it out worse to be than it actually was. Anytime I told the truth, I always got in trouble. So it got to the point I never spoke out, I never did anything, I never used my voice. I actually became quiet and just shut up. Just shut up. I would never say how I felt. And it not only became a problem as in I wouldn't stand up for myself, but I wouldn't say anything at all. To the point of even if, oh, someone, I'm sure you guys see that meme and that joke all the time. Yo, dude, you're like a really chill guy. Why are you dating such a loud lady? Oh, someone has to tell the waiter, I didn't order this. I'm sure you guys have seen that. And that's what I used to be. I used to just not, even if someone messed up my order, I would just silently shut up and eat it. Even if it's something I hated, absolutely hated. So it got to that point, I would not use my voice. I would not speak anything, any truth, I completely shut down. That's how it became. I would not even say how I felt. Anytime anyone asked, if anyone who reached out to me, I shut them down because I was too scared to say my truth. Some people was too scared of people not liking me, liking who I am, kind of leading back to the authenticity. Because it's a thing. It really is. When you speak your truth, people tend to not like you, but that's okay. You just gotta roll with it. Gotta acknowledge it and be like, that's fine. You don't like me, I'm cool with that. It literally took me years to get back to this point. Because I dove in and out. For a while, I spoke my truth out of hate and anger. I would be nasty and surly, and I may have been saying the truth, but I wasn't presenting it in a proper manner, and I was using it out of spite. Which, in my opinion, is not great. Not great. Like, an example, my parents went to therapy, and the therapist would tell them the truth. Charles, oh, my bad. My dad, you have this, this is the way I see it, the situation you're talking about. I feel like this is something you should probably work on. Stepmom, this is something, blah, 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 this is something you should work on. Well, then they actually use that truth and weaponize it against each other. Oh, you should work on this. Well, you need to work on this. It's like, yo, okay. Well, I picked that up too. I would call people out, and they, in a nasty manner, they would turn around and hate me. That's also fair and just. People are entitled to their emotions and their feelings. But now, I'm not doing it from a place of anger and hatred. It's just, if I say something, I'm saying it out of love. The reason I'm telling you the truth, in fact, here's a good situation. When I did stop talking to my friend at work, I shut down. I didn't tell him the truth. I just slowly pulled away because I noticed these behaviors were going on and I didn't address it to him. Well, finally, one day I told him the flat out truth. It's like, look, man, I'm speaking to you like a friend. And I told him the truth. I'm like, this is, again, I could have always phrased it better. I put it in a form of this is how I feel. I'm not blaming you. I didn't throw blames. I just said, I feel like I can't be myself around you. I can't be honest. I can't talk to you. And I told him the honest to God truth that I could. And he actually had a very visceral reaction. He became more abusive and more hateful because I said the truth. And he bullied me for a while. For a good while. Finally, felt like something clicked in his head, and he started to stop. He stopped being so nasty. He stopped taking out his anger on me. He just kind of said, "All right." I don't know if he ever came to a realization of maybe he's right. I don't care if he did, but he did slowly stop being abusive because I was not willing to tolerate it. I even showed him I was willing to quit. Before I even got fired, I was already looking for another job because I had separate story. I had the voice of God, spirit, whatever you want to say, speaking in my ear, quit your job, quit your job, quit your job, quit your job. Literally one day I looked up and said, no, I'm sorry, I'm not going to quit my job. The only way I'd quit is if I got fired. And then I got fired. But, that's a little unrelated. Yeah, I'm still kind of speaking a little bit of bitterness. I'm trying not to, because all of it was for my better good, even if it doesn't feel like it. But I spoke my truth. I was honest. I was true. And it removed me from a situation that I no longer belonged. So, yes, not gonna lie, this hurts a lot. Being honest and being yourself really hurts. And the reason being is because even though I wasn't trying to hurt anyone as of this point, I'm not trying to be hurtful, I'm not trying to be spiteful. Anything I say is preferably out of love. I mean, I'm still human. There's still days I flip people off and tell them to eat crap, you know? But when I try more, try better to speak the truth, it's out of love. And you do what you want with it. But the reason they get upset is because I reflect back to them how they were acting. Again, not maliciously, I wasn't being mean. It's just because I'm not willing to put up with this behavior, it's flashing it in your face saying, hey, this is what you're doing to me and I'm not okay with it. Instead of being like everyone else and just, oh yeah, 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 haha, we're cool, I hate you, but we're cool. I'm just like, I'm not cool with that. I don't appreciate that. I don't, I'm not willing to deal with it. And it upset a lot of people. Even if you don't do it out of hatred. Even if you're not trying to be rude or mean, it's just people don't like to see what's inside of them oftentimes. They run from themselves, their shadows. They just act however they want and think it's okay, and that's fine. You do you, boo. But when someone's not willing to tolerate the nasty behaviors or just something that doesn't resonate, they become more of that. Kind of like I said, like my family. It got to a point with my family that I just wouldn't take it. My dad was constantly getting mad at me. He's like, why don't you just agree with your stepmom? I'm like, no, I'm not willing to. In fact, I watched him for years just submit to my stepmom. Oh, she's my wife. What do you want? You're right. But she's never gonna hear me say that. It's my wife. I can't say that. So it's just like, again, I'm not saying any of this to dog on anyone. I'm not. Perhaps I'm saying it to work it out of my system. I don't know. I'm just saying what comes to me. But I'm not saying it from a place of hate. I feel no hatred. I'm not angry. I'm just using it as an example. I hope. If I really am throwing shade, tell me to stop. All right, I'll switch topics. We'll move on to the next card. Spirit, you're funny. So funny. Next card, letting go. Letting go. Be your authentic self, speak your truth, and let it go. Because even after voicing all this, it's still, I will admit, it's still looping in my head sometimes. How I'm able to pull up these situations so easily, so fast. Maybe I haven't truly let it go. Hell, I'm 31 years old. I don't even talk to my dad. And I still feel anger towards him. I still do. I'm honest. I still do. And that's unfortunate. Because it's all in the past. None of that really matters. Even if he's still the same person or, in my opinion, a worse person, I gotta let it go. I gotta let it go. You know? Speak your truth. Even if it's not meant to hurt someone. I don't intend to hurt anyone. For instance, this was one of the hardest things I did. My dad moved to another state, and I haven't seen him in a while. We were texting for a while, and we kept talking, and it got to a point where just trying not to focus on the 3D world, not on what they're doing. I'm trying to focus on me. That's the point, is focusing on me, my reactions, and how I deal with it. Doesn't matter what they do. It truly doesn't. Even if it hurt. But I spoke my truth to him, and I blocked him. He was playing games, acting like he wants to talk, but then he never actually made the effort. The actual situation that got me to stop talking to him was one day he said, "Hey man, I haven't seen you in a while. I miss you. I would like to Skype." Skype, that tells you how old we are. He wanted to Skype chat with me, video chat basically. And I said, "You know what? Okay. If you're authentically reaching out, I will. I will meet you halfway. I will talk to you on Skype." I sat down that night, made a Skype, and sent it to him. I didn't hear from him for a week. The next text he sent me, "Oh, hey man, look at this motorcycle. Isn't it cool? You should buy it." I was like, "Yeah, that's cool. Hey, so I made my Skype and I sent it to you a week ago, are we gonna hop on?" And he just started coming up with excuses. "Oh, I couldn't because of this." I'm like, "Okay, well, how about this?" And I kept coming up with solutions to his excuses. Finally, it got to a point the excuses were just so ridiculous in my mind. I told him, "You know what, man? If you're not gonna make an effort, I don't care. I'm not willing to try anymore. That was my last attempt. I'm done." And it really sucked. I had to let him go. I had to let go of the idea of having a relationship with him. Because it just wasn't gonna happen. And even speaking this, I could feel it in my chest, the hurt, the pain, and the relief at the same time. It sucks. Letting go sucks. Like I said, letting go of that job, letting go of my friends. But it was keeping me in a spot where I wasn't authentic. I wasn't speaking my truth. I wasn't me. Because I was too scared of judgment and not being liked by my own family, by my friends, by the world. You don't know how many times I can't even count how many times again I sat down and shut up for the sake of not upsetting anyone, not just making waves. Again, I'm at the point I'm not doing it out of purpose. I'm not trying to be mean. And anytime I do, I look at myself authentically. And I'm like, oh, okay. For instance, now that I'm at this new job, I'm still getting some of the triggers from my old job, like, oh, this person did this or this person did this, and it still bugs me. Well, guess what? I'm letting go. I voiced my truth. Okay, Adam, Ash, whatever you want to call me. Well, why does this upset you? Well, I hate feeling like I'm the only one ever doing work. Why? Go back into your past. Maybe there's something in your trauma in your childhood. Well, maybe because all my life, I felt like, oh, my older sister didn't have to help out, or younger sister didn't have to help, and I was always the one doing all the chores. I was always the one doing all the chores. I felt like I had more chores than everyone, and always had to do so much work. I've always had to put in so much work into everything I do. And I just got to the point I'm sick of. I'm tired. I'm tired of being the only one to do work. I'm tired of feeling like I'm the only one who does work, who takes it seriously, who even tries. And because I work so hard, or I did, people took advantage of it. I was always cleaning up everybody else's mess, constantly. People at work would purposely leave me stuff. Now, sometimes it was just ego saying, oh, maybe they just forgot, maybe. Or sometimes I would take it personally and be like, no, they left it for me on purpose. I know they did. There's a fine line between me trying to let go of that. But now I'm at this new job. I'm just like, whatever, dude. I'll do what I can while I'm here. If I can't get to it, I can't get to it. I'm gonna go. I will continue to do my job. And if they leave me something, I have time, I'll do it. But I'm only one person. If I can't get to it, I can't get to it. I'm not gonna take it personally. That's just who they are. Whatever. And I don't need to get upset and let them upset me or anger me anymore. There's no point. So I let that go. And essentially, just let go of everything. I know that sounds horrible, but I'm learning to let go of everything. There are still some things I'm holding on to so tight, like control. Letting go can be in so many aspects of your life. You honestly just search your heart for what you feel. Not only did I have to let go of the job, I had to let go of friends and people who were no longer good for me. I had to let go of control. I was so devastated. It's like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I was in control. I was making money. I was steady, constant. And the universe is literally, I had a conversation with the universe, God, when it told me to quit my job. It's like, quit your job. I go, no. Literally for weeks. Quit your job, quit your job, quit your job. I'm like, but it's shush. No. And I kept rejecting the voice. I kept rejecting my conscience. Like, quit your job. And I go, no. Finally responded one day, do you not trust me? And I actually said no. It's like, no, honestly, I don't. I barely got to a point where I trust myself. You're telling me to quit my cushiony 9 to 5 job just out of the blue. Like, I was honestly already looking for another job, but I was just kind of little lazy about it. I wasn't taking it too seriously. So, again, the conversation went, no, honestly, I'm not really willing to trust you. He goes, okay. I said the only way I would quit my job is if I get fired. A week later, I got fired. Not even literally a week later. The situation kept boiling up, and I felt it in my chest. I'm like, this is it, isn't it? I'm gonna get fired. I'm trying my best not to. Just screw it. But I could feel it in my heart. Then I got fired. And I was like, what the hell, universe? Why would you do this? And it goes, guess what, bud? You don't have a choice now. Trust me. Or self-destruct. After the first couple of days, I'm just like, no, I was bitter. I was angry. Not necessarily at the universe. More or less at the people that I felt like screwed me over. Um, but I was angry, and after 10, 11 days, I finally just kind of lulled into it. Alright, I'm tired. The way I'm trying is not working. Whatever. I trust you, man. And the more and more I actually started acknowledging that, it actually became true. I was like, all right, I do trust you. We got this. You got me. I got you. Let's do this. And I started acknowledging, because of course, the control issue. It's like, oh, that'd be the perfect job for me. I want that job. Or I need to make this much money. I need to have this kind of hour. I need to blah, 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 blah. And I was trying to control so hard. I applied to like literally over 100 jobs. And I only know that because Indeed actually kept track of it. And I was trying to control it. I was trying to make sure I did my best at the interviews, be like, no, this is the one I need. This is the one I want. In fact, I almost took a really crappy job out of fear because I felt like I needed to control it and be like, okay, if I can get, ABC. But I started acknowledging to a certain point that, you know what? No, this isn't right. Universe has got me. I'm going to start listening to you. Even as the weeks went on, I'm trusting you. There's a job you have set aside for me that would resonate with me, the new me, better than whatever I'm trying to pick. Because I'm trying to be controlling. I think that would be a great job for me, but if you say it's not, okay, I understand. And I stepped aside, and again, 10 days later, I got a new job. Not my favorite job. In fact, I almost kind of hate it, but I let go of control and I said, okay, fine. New situation, you've got me in the spot that you want me to be, in the spot that I need to be. So, I'm gonna go through really quick, read a couple parables from the book. Most of this is just me flapping my gums. Authenticity. Masks, hiding, shapeshifting, pretending, conforming, chaos, agreeing, put on a smile. Paint a good picture. Don't be weird. Yeah, what was I saying? Just underneath hides fear, reassurance, insecurity, sadness. I'm fine. Everything is okay. But is it really? What are all the masks I wear or have worn in this life? How have I sacrificed or changed myself because of others? Do I feel fully available to be my most authentic self? That's been the other issue, is I've never felt safe to be myself. There are rituals, and if you guys would like me to, I can do separate videos just to read out all the cards. I don't know. Like it or comment it. I hate doing the call to action, but if you truly want me to, I will post separate videos either for each card or just rituals or a full video of just bits and pieces because that's a lot to read. Bits and pieces of ritual saying, hey, okay, if you're having issues with authenticity, here's a ritual. So I'm already encroaching 40 minutes and I don't feel like anyone wants to be here that long. Again, that's my insecurity. I'm sure there are people that are here watching. And if you made it this far, congratulations. You're also weird. Let's be weird together. Voice, voice, voice. Oh, nope, I just saw letting go. Bookmark. And it's gone. Oh, there it is. Hello. I'm gonna read them in order. Honestly, I've never had this voice card before, so I'm curious of what it says. Screaming, yelling, speaking, expressing, making it heard, shouting and spewing, loud and silent, releasing, saying yes, its unique sound, needed, necessary, vital, true, words and energy, feeling and thought, wisdom and remembering. What stories, feedback, have I been told about my voice? Where do I hold back from speaking my voice or my truth? What is seeking expression through me right now? These videos is part of me speaking my voice. My goal is not to be attached to my story. In fact, speaking it helps me kind of let it go. Because anytime I've ever tried to tell anyone growing up, either shut me up or used it against me. Anytime I try to open up and be vulnerable, again, they've judged me and thrown me aside or used it and thrown it in my face or used it to control me. You be open and they're like, oh, well, this person's easy to manipulate. No, 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 no. So honestly, I've never wanted to use my voice. Here's a ritual. I'm gonna read this one mainly for myself. Sound your heart out, making weird noises. I do that all the time. I swear to God, people probably think I'm autistic. There's nothing wrong with that. I just, I'm not sure if I'm autistic. I'm not gonna say I am. I'm not gonna say I'm not. But I do make really weird noises all the fucking time. All the time. Where can you be in fullest expression without worrying about anyone hearing? The shower, the car, home alone, etc. Invite yourself to make 5 really weird noises. Anger, chaos, howls, screams, squeals, whatever feels weird to you. Commit to expressing them as fully as you can. Feel the energy of each sound throughout your body. Honestly, you should watch me play video games. I'm weird as hell. I make some of the weirdest noises. It's actually pretty funny. I do it at work too sometimes, like bleep. Or I've gotten into this thing where I throw objects at work. I know it sounds bad, but it's not. It's not as bad. I just, they're just like, what are you doing? I'm just like, I just make sound effects for life, baby. I'm weird. I do it. I've been told I'm actually a cartoon character all the time, constantly. Okay, only twice, but that's very weird that it's happened twice. I get told I'm a cartoon character, and you know what? I mean, I am. I am. I'm okay with that. Letting go. Arms wide open to an infinite flow. Stepping back, light pours in, allowing, opening, surrendering, illuminating clarity, possibility, support, guidance. A soft ease arrives. What had been in grasp falls away and creates space for something greater. Contemplations. What am I grasping so tightly and attempting to force? For a while, it was a relationship. For me. Just throwing that out there. I don't know why. I'm gonna be vulnerable. I've always tried so hard to force a relationship, and yeah, it never worked. Obviously. Just, anyways. When I have practiced letting go, what was the outcome? Why do I feel a need to express control? Oh, when do I feel a need to express control and why? Really think about that. You want me to keep going for a minute? 45 minutes, good God. You know what? We'll talk about that another day. Ask these questions to yourself. I could sit here and drone on, but ask these questions for yourself. The whole point of this is to get you to think, but not think too much, because staying in your brain is just not great. You gotta be in your heart, in your heart, and in your head. You can't have one without the other. But it's always a bad place to stay in your head so much. Not necessarily a bad place to stay in your heart. Your heart could be coming from love. You know what? I could keep going. Anyways, that's the reading for today. I'm gonna do a separate one for a different deck. Although I need to start, I don't need to do anything. I would like to start by doing a closing statement. Thank you. Thank you, Wisdom of the Shadow, the Oracle of Self-Discovery, for showing me what I would like to learn. Oh, look at that. Vulnerability on the bottom. How funny is that? I don't even need to pull the last card. It's just like, oh, look at that. That just, even though it's not part of the reading, it just kind of reads in to what we were saying. You're funny. You're funny, Spirit. In fact, I don't know if it does this for anyone else. People always think, God is all love and light. Nah, he's got a sense of humor. And it's twisted sometimes. So if your sense of humor is anything like mine, my spirit reflects that. And it laughs at me sometimes out of love, not hatred or anything negative. It's like, ha ha ha, you goon. What did I tell you? Yeah. Anyways, have a great day.